Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Grow Your Life podcast. My name's Jeremiah Krakowski, and on this podcast we talk about ways for you to grow in your life and in your business to get more sales. I've been helping businesses for the last 18 years with all the tools of sales and marketing online to grow their companies to 7 and 8 figures. And I want to help you get more sales because honestly, if you're not selling online and you have a business, you don't really have a business. You just have a cute hobby. I say that, and I know that might sound harsh, but that's the truth. And that's what I want to help you with, is getting more sales, no matter what it is that you do, getting customers to buy from you. And that's what today's episode is all about. We have other episodes on mindset. If you go through the archive of the episodes, you can check those out. There's a Facebook group with over 1,500 people in it, the hashtag Grow Your Life Facebook group. They're working through their business just like you, business owners just like yourself that have questions, concerns. They're wondering what's the latest technology, what's the latest things that are working. So be sure to check that out. But I want to help you if you're somebody that needs to get more sales in your business. Discover why that is that you're not getting sales. One of the biggest reasons when I coach with people that they don't is either they're afraid to ask for the sale, or if they're not afraid, they're not using the language that gets people to buy from them. They're not using language. They're more informational. So there's usually one of these two issues. They're either giving way too much information about what they're selling and then expecting people to just buy based on that information. Logic-based sales. The truth is, nobody buys anything on logic. Now, you may believe yourself that you buy things based on logic and that you're the one person on planet Earth that isn't like that. What's funny is most of us believe that about ourselves. I believe that about myself, that I didn't buy anything off of emotion. It was all based on logic constantly. And the truth is that everybody buys on emotion. So you need to shift that paradigm and realize this, that everybody buys on emotion. If you're not triggering an emotional reaction in somebody, you're not going to sell to them, no matter how good your product is, no matter how excellent it is, no matter how wonderful it is. If people don't feel something to pull out their credit card, they're not going to buy from you. And then if you're not asking people to buy from you, if you're not explicitly saying, hey, this is what we have for sale, this is what we offer, and telling them, hey, buy this thing. Like you're literally using your language, the words that you type, the words that you say, and saying, buy this. Click the link and purchase. And explicitly saying it. If you're not telling people what you want them to do, you can't expect them to. I see so often people are trying to operate in this passive, codependent way of doing sales where they just expect, because they're good and they're excellent and they have a good product, that people will just magically read their minds and buy what it is for them to sell. And that's not reality. That's not real life. It's not how real life works. And so if you can shift that single paradigm that I just shared with you right now in the first couple of minutes of this episode, you will get more sales in your business. If you shift out of this expecting people to know what it is that you sell, expecting them to know that you want them to buy something, believing that they already know that you have something for sale. Did you know that most people don't even realize that you have something for sale until you tell them that? And yet you're sitting around thinking that it's a good thing, waiting for people to just magically buy ESP or something to discover that you have something for sale. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually say, hey, this is going to help you. I have something for sale. Go and buy it. And be confident and bold when you do that. Okay? So it's usually one of these two things. People are afraid to ask for the sale because they don't want to be rude. They don't want to be a salesy person. At the end of the day, you're going to have to get over this need to, I don't want to be XYZ if you have a goal as a business owner. Otherwise, it's better to go work for somebody else because you're not going to have to take a risk. You're not going to step out. You're not going to have to ever do anything uncomfortable. Growing a business requires you to do what is uncomfortable, my friends. It requires you to step outside of your comfort zone. And I know that this is kind of demotivational. It's not very motivational. It's not supposed to be. It's kind of supposed to be a wake-up call for some people. The fact that maybe you haven't even been asking anybody to buy from you, and you've just been expecting them to know that you have something great for sale without telling anybody about it, or without saying, hey, go buy this, without explicitly saying, this will benefit you go purchase it. Oh, by the way, we have a discount and it expires on this day. You may be afraid to do that, and that's been stopping you from getting sales. Or maybe you just think that your product sells itself. So you can't have these mindsets. You have to shift out of this. I get it. You probably have something great that's going to help people. But if you're not connecting with what the customer wants, if you're not connecting emotionally to them, to their desires, if you're not reaching into the deepest desires that your customer has and touching it, literally touching their pain points, to the point that somebody says, oh, wow, that's me. They're talking about me. That's relevant to me. You're not going to sell. So often we're trying to put out their messages to try to get people to buy from us passively, afraid to ask for the sale, afraid to piss people off, afraid to say anything that might offend somebody, afraid to put ourselves out there and be rejected. And we're letting our feelings get in front of what's going to help us grow our business. You can't let your feelings get in front of what's going to help you grow your business. You're going to have to step out, take a risk, and do something that might not be comfortable for you to start to get sales. What's stopping you from doing that? Usually there's beliefs tied to it about what it means to be a person that does that. Whether you think that that's a bad thing or not, whether you've been told that that's bad or not, or you think that people buy on logic and you want to be so specific about what it is that you're selling that you don't actually sell. You're just giving information to people. You're not selling. You're just parroting the features. So you have to learn to communicate and connect emotionally with your buyers around their desires, around what they want, not what they need. And that's what gets people to buy from you. Now, you can include in that when you sell to somebody what they need, but nobody is going to buy from you in your offer based off of what they need. They're not. People buy emotionally based on what they want, and when they believe that you can deliver on that, when you've built trust with them, when they trust that you're the person that will deliver on that. Okay? And so when you can deliver on that trust that you're built with people, when people trust that, okay, I'm going to buy this is going to give me what I want, then they say, here's my money. But you still have to ask for the money. You still have to ask for it. You still have to say, hey, are you ready to get started? Are you ready to start doing this? Are you ready to start changing your life? Far too often, people are waiting for like they're mind readers. Like people are mind readers. Like they're just going to read your mind and know that you have something for sale. They're just going to know that you have the solution to their problems, and they don't. People don't know it unless you say it. And you might say, well, it makes me feel uncomfortable to say it. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone and do what makes you feel uncomfortable to grow a business. Okay? And so it's time for you to start to get into conversations with strangers. Learn what drives people, what motivates them. If you want to sell more, you have to speak specifically to the person's emotional desires, not what they need. And that might go against everything that you believe in your core being. That you believe that I need to always just give people what they need. When in fact, you have to give them what they want. And that's where the disconnect is. That's where the disconnect is, my friends. Is when we're trying to sell something and we're trying to force people what we believe they would benefit from based on features. We're not connecting with the person's desires, and then we're not asking them for the sale, and we're not telling them that we have something for sale. So I see this happen so often, and then we're not even demonstrating it. We don't have case studies. We don't have... The list goes on and on, my friends. The list is huge, and I see this is what separates people from getting sales. I see this is what separates people from finding the customers that they're looking for. I see this as what stops people from getting the type of money that they know is possible for them. I see this as what takes people from the possibility of becoming a millionaire, the possibility of becoming successful in their own business, because they're afraid to ask for the sale, because they're afraid to be one of those people, because they're afraid to explicitly say, hey, this is going to help you, because they give too much information about features. They give too much intellectual information about what something is, not the benefits. You have to speak to emotionally what benefits somebody when you're selling to them. You have to speak emotionally to that, and then that will bring this in. Y'all are working way too hard if you're not doing this. And it's actually the opposite of what produces results as a salesperson. If you're trying to get money in a business, trying to make money in a business, you have to be able to sell properly. You have to boldly ask for the money. You have to courageously say, hey, give me the money. You don't say, give me the money, but you say, I have this value. Are you ready to get started? Let's take your credit card. Let's get started. And then you take the money from people. That's the only way that you're going to get money from people. People, human beings that have the money in your business, are not going to give it to you unless you ask for it. And they're not going to give it to you based on how good your product is, or how beneficial it is to them, or how much it will help them, unless they believe that it will help them based on their desires, not their needs. Not based on what you think they should want. Not based on what you personally believe is going to benefit them. Solely based on what they believe is going to help them. Now, you can influence somebody with your language to see a different perspective, that something will benefit them that they didn't previously know would benefit them. And that's the process of sales copy, influence, and selling, is helping persuade somebody to see a different perspective. And so if you're not actively persuading people to see a different perspective, if you're not actively connecting to the emotional needs that a buyer has and what they want, not what they need, you're connecting to their desires, what they want. Please, if you get this, get one thing. Nobody buys what they need. They only buy what they want, and they only ever buy off of emotion. That's it. And so you will not be able to grow a business, no matter how good your product is, based on intellectual desires or what you think will benefit somebody. Based on what you think somebody wants. It has to be what they actually tell you they want. And then I see so often people say, well, I don't want to give them what they want because that would be bad for them. I had a conversation with a client of mine for 2 years based on this. He struggled to give people what they wanted because it was, in his mind, a bad thing for them to want that thing. And as soon as we started crafting our offers around what people wanted, not what they needed, sales started to blow up. Oftentimes, we believe that what people's desires are bad, and so we don't give it to them because we want to be higher than them and give them what we believe is going to help them by being this high and holy, mighty resource that's going to help raise somebody up, and nobody is even connecting with that language. Nobody's even connecting with that. By the way, nobody wants to feel like they don't know what they're doing. Nobody wants to feel like you're better than them. They want to feel like they're the ones that are pulling a fast one on you. They want to feel like they're the ones that discovered the secret, not that you're the one that led them to it. Okay? And so if you're somebody that wants to sell something, if you're trying to get more sales in your business, you have to lead with what people want, not what they need. Lead with their desires and connect emotionally to the person so that they understand that you care, so that they understand that you care about them, so they understand that you know what they are going through, so that they understand that you are in tune with and in touch with what they're dealing with. Otherwise, they feel like you're just a random person trying to get a sale if you're not in touch with what they're dealing with. And so what I see often happen when people struggle to get sales in their business is they're trying to lead with features, intellectual ideas, things that they believe will benefit people, but the customer doesn't really want. And they're not connecting emotionally to the deepest desires of their target customer and then leading them to that place. And then they're not asking for the sale. They're not saying, hey, buy this. See, that's the other part to this. They're not explicitly saying, hey, this is going to benefit you. If you give me your money, I will give you this in exchange, and it will deliver on a promise that I'm making to you. People are not willing to take the risk to make a promise to people, to explicitly ask for cash, to explicitly ask for the sale because they feel uncomfortable to do that. Okay? And so if you can work through, why are we uncomfortable to ask for cash? Well, a lot of us have been taught and raised that talking about money is a bad thing in our lives. A lot of us are told that money is not to be discussed. And so then when it comes time to sell to people, we get nervous and we get that stuck in our head that it's a bad thing to talk about money with people and to ask for money. That could be one of it. The other thing could be that you have dealt with pushy salespeople. You've dealt with, and you said, oh, I never want to be like one of those people. And so then when you decided that you don't want to be like one of those people, you pushed yourself away from doing the very thing that's going to unlock the next level in your business. I'm telling you, if you're not getting sales in a business, you just have a cute hobby. If you're not bringing in cash flow into a business, and a lot of it on a regular basis, you don't have a business. You have an idea that's very expensive and takes up a lot of time that makes you feel good. And I know that may sound very harsh, very disconnected, but that's the truth. And so you need to start to bring in more sales. You have to start to ask for the sale more. You have to start to connect with people around what emotionally drives them. What are their desires? What do they want? What inside of them drives them to make decisions? And then ask people to buy from you. Say, this is the solution. This is what you want. This is going to give it to you. And then we do what's called telling the truth well told. You don't over embellish, but you paint the picture of what you're selling in the best, most positive possible light that people can see. Wow, I'm really going to get this if I go through, if I buy this, if I go through this, if I purchase this package, if I do this. And that's where belief comes in, my friends. Belief in what you're selling, belief in yourself. You got to have so much confidence when you're selling to people, so much confidence in what you're selling that you don't care whether people reject you or not. What's funny is while I'm doing this podcast, I had somebody come into the comments here on the live and post, "You are a retard." You know what? That didn't faze me. That didn't throw me off because I believe in my message. I believe in what I'm putting out there. I believe in what I'm delivering to people. These live messages that people try to be haters and come in and say stuff like that. It doesn't matter what other people think. That's why I drive this home with the mindset. You can't allow the opinions of other people to stop you from going after your dreams, from selling, from building the business that you know is possible, from being the entrepreneur that God's called you to be. And that requires you to get uncomfortable. That requires you to ask for the money. That requires you to start to learn how to connect with strangers, how to make yourself vulnerable enough to connect with people on the internet that might be some mean people. To learn how do they communicate? What language do they use? What words do they use on a regular basis? What words are they using? And learn what drives them to buy. What drives them to purchase. When you can learn how to do this, when you can learn how to connect with people, when you can learn to ask for the sale and not be afraid of whether somebody says yes or no. Not be afraid to be rejected, because it's not about you. None of this is about you. That's the thing you got to realize. None of this is a reflection on your value, who you are, or your worth or ability at all. Your goal is to find the people that you can best serve, show them the solutions based on the best possible way that's going to connect with them, and then say, this is going to help you. Are you ready to get started? What's your credit card number? And ask for the money. Ask them to give you the money. Do the thing that is most uncomfortable for you courageously. The more you start doing it, the more comfortable it gets, the less it feels uncomfortable. You know, the more times I ask people to pay me $10,000 a month, the more comfortable it gets. And the more comes in. I just wish I'd have more people I could ask that of. I don't have enough. Got to have more of them. And that's the thing for you. Then what's going to help you grow your business? Once you get comfortable selling and asking for the sale, you scale the number of people you have these conversations with. See, that's the next part. That's what Facebook ads do. That's what social media ads do. That's what social media marketing does. That's what that's what all these marketing methods are all about. Is then how do we attract and find thousands of people to sell to, thousands of people to ask for money from because of the value that we deliver to the problem that they have. And that's what I show you how to do in my courses on my website. That's what I show you how to do in this podcast. That's what I show you how to do in my content on my social media every single day. Is how to market, how to sell your business, how to communicate, talk, message people. The messaging that connects with buyers, that connects with them to get them to take action. But you have to have a call to action to get people to buy from you. Okay? So it's time for you to go out there, my friends. It's time for you to go out there and take a step forward in your business. Now listen, if you haven't checked out the courses that I have on my website, I got a bundle right now called Create and Launch Your Own Digital Product Business, where I walk you through how to build a course business selling digital courses online. As well, you could buy Irresistible Offers That Sell, which talks all about creating sales offers, social media ads that work, Easy Course Creation Blueprint, Website Building Made Easy, or you could just go through my 133 podcast episodes. I believe that you can get more sales in your business, and that the only person that's stopping you is yourself. Based on the beliefs that you have, based on the activities that you do every single day. And all you got to do is just tweak some of those habits that you have, and the sales is going to start to come in for you, okay? If you haven't yet, schedule a free 15-minute call with me on my website, jeremykrakowski.com. I'd love to help you work through what's stopping you in your business to take it to the next level. If this has helped you in any way, be sure to share this podcast episode with other people. Grow your life, everybody.